Now kwame we ye boni tew. Two things ana no pay yehwe. Yen kan be bebre say de bia wo kan me kakra wo say yen fa bi nhye free.
Nhye free man de ho nya pa.
Ye ne sa. Finally, the Director General for your friend is a National Lottery Authority
NLA.
Wakopie mu Public Accounts Committee no enim. Okay? Na wakopie mu no enkomo no bebre na no aba.
Okay.
Enti yebebo sa footage no na yetimi edi ho enkomo. There were some questions yebisa no at the Public Accounts Committee. Okay, about KGL and NLA contractor existing between them. Now, one more ebisado say, I mean, committee members in ebisado say, in his candid opinion, that he should tell us clearly what he feels about the NLA KGL deal as a Director General. Now, you have a response, no, you may not make it.
Send your omanenum.
Yes, of course.
Yes,
answers our demand, you know.
Sure.
We'll play it back. Na yetimi edi eno ho enkomo. Ye we are and also we'll come back na ya analyze muntaka ne reporter what they about on election 2020 and 2024. But my enko na yentie na yenhwe Public Accounts Committee no Emra
goes to the Director General. I just want you to be candid. The KGL contract that you have, in your own opinion, your candid opinion, is it beneficial to the state or not?
Thank you very much. To answer this question, my position is that the state can gain a lot more from the contract. So there's every reason for it to be renegotiated to bring in more benefit to the state.
This one goes to the Director General. I just want you to be candid. The KGL contract that you have, in your own opinion, your candid opinion, is it beneficial to the state or not?
Thank you very much. To answer this question, my position is that the state can gain a lot more from the contract. So there's every reason for it to be renegotiated to bring in more benefit to the state.
This one goes to the Director General. I just want you to be candid. The KGL contract that you have, in your own opinion, your candid opinion, is it beneficial to the state or not?
Thank you very much. To answer this question, my position is that the state can gain a lot more from the contract. So there's every reason for it to be renegotiated to bring in more benefit to the state.
This one goes to
Kwame Dase na Kwame Jan
Speaker.
Edie ya adwen se adwuma ya ye beka ye nokre. Okay. Ghana ni bia wotia no pay bia ntie ni. I don't care which political party I will belong to. Sa contract we ya ye ho adwuma pa. Now first of all, Uti, I want to put it on record say Director General no ti NLA. You even say Salam Muhammad ho. Adwuma na wo ye no ntimi nye. Position now President Mahama Ede Amano Esoseno. That is the first thing. NDC near you must understand it clearly. Say I mean position bia na President Mahama Ede Ama will be no or expect say obeye juma to the benefit and then to the interest of the nation. Said the Ebeya party no any mu bebenya na kono bebem na President Mahama the second term amemu no ayefe na ya kono. Okay, the position he is occupying is bigger than him. Number 2, the players within the sector, okay? And then the unseen influences are what's our sector, bigger than him.
Only boss need to handle.
We need that courage to be able to do the things of a director general sitting at National Lottery Authority. We need that courage.
Only boss.
Okay? Now, the toso miensa. Contract in the crowd one tiasi. What you American? Contract in that one year the home common. This director general does not even understand it. And it unfortunately say one tiasi because I want tiasi our legal department within the National Lottery Authority. As a baby bro, why Jane so now a legal now one tiasi you just ought to call your head of legal. Now one three woman tiasi again because most of them are compromise. Point 4. Majority of them now are compromise, Nintino. Okay, they don't even talk about the loopholes in that contract. All they care about is renegotiation. We can renegotiate. What do you want to renegotiate?
Oh, but
at the end of person renegotiate.
Okay.
Why renegotiation? Why is the director general talking about renegotiation? Renegotiation for what?
Kwame, say me tinasiye from the posture now the kasana. I felt like say opposite or a bit of decorum kakra or public.
Decorum
because on to me can say contract na me be 2 years no nyama na me hu no eti etwem dabi on to me kasa so
SML contract no SML contract
SML contract
na disika bro o man
me ba o SML die no it was directive from the president.
Good.
And no
say
SML different
SML contract no regardless of wherever source are na free but na disika bro o man
and I make sure say
sika na so on community no won hwe how much is coming in. Okay,
I don't know directive no I the ban the twem different.
Now maybe in contract terms this is very simple. In contract terms many wo etnase ye mienu as parties to a contract. Me no mienu ya tenase say ye de ensa share contract bi ase agreement bi ase there are terms and conditions ye mienu ni nyina no e binding the two of us.
Yes.
Okay,
yeah,
nana ye nyina no ye go into agreement. Uba morning show you so esese wo ye ABCD.
Yeah.
Okay, ABCD de wuntime nye. Me speaker me ba morning show you so esese me ye ABCD. ABCD de me ntime nye. Okay, ABCD na wuntime nye na me ntime nye. Se wo koya it constitute the grounds for removal from this particular show.
Of course.
They make cannot yes. And contract be what they want say there are clauses, there are obligations to that particular contract. Okay?
Yeah.
Now we are before every serious contract be ending. There were terms for termination. Clauses, termination clauses are say agreement many we ABCD a constitute a breach of the agreement.
Okay.
For that reason, no, a better grounds for termination of what? The agreement.
And you know, Kwame,
they make cannot imagine.
Yeah,
because technical.
Yeah.
Now, it's here for now 8 years, no, and TSA.
Yeah.
So contract net down. You making kind the clauses for termination. Okay, and one specific, clauses. Okay. For the contract to be very valid, SSO bia edid SSO NCCN so pepe. And to sense any be ho now free say obey pick and choose. Maybe way so may way where the mean yet. Okay, so what is the contract about? Your mount license say go and operate online lottery. And no, they also obey. And only a first, because license now your day mount and a mount that mandate and mount the exclusivity to operate in that particular sector. And no, dear, what you have to obey. Good. One making steps to be able to roll out the online lottery system for the NLA. You are working not for yourself as a company, but you are working for and on behalf of the NLA. They cannot say until Ube taking steps.
Okay.
To ensure say online no say a USSD code nowadays code no be generated code no say we need telcos ne kasa what you see so that when people one more daily code no one more phone so a prompt ne beba for them to follow to be able say one more be twa loto a person mucha Wamu wia, wamu connected to their mobile money. And you bet you can through the mobile money, no atimiatria. And our systems has to be in place. The company called KGL ought to take steps or bet me the ISA money. And only a point one. Why is money in the same license requires you say and near my platforms are what building in okay? Let the NLA because a product now operating in your diantino. My NLA access to whatever platforms are away in place. And no there was there be. Okay? So and no, you will not allow access, you will not agree for the NLA to monitor whatever you are doing on your platform. So I'm saying, sir. So question now, Honorable Frank Ebisa, do you think, sir, contract net that host is here and beneficial to the state? And to what here, one more direct answer. The answer he gave was that he feels it can be renegotiated for the country to benefit more. Maybe, and I'm saying, sir, it is not even about renegotiation. Why is the Director General talking about renegotiation whilst a lot of the terms and conditions are a constituted termination of that contract has been breached?
Wonderful. And I make Kwame or say renegotiation
renegotiation no before renegotiation raise a question
before negotiation of every contract you have to review again.
So that is what I'm telling you, sir. The Director General does not even understand the contract.
And you know,
what raising the issue of before renegotiation, as a review. Now, the terms of the same contract, you cannot review the contract until 3 years period has passed. Contract now person will review. Want to mean review until say the first 3 years of the operationalization of that particular contract, until say a term, until what started a contract, the implementation agreement came into force from 1st January 2024. We are in 2025. Renegotiation.
And you know, Kwame, based on lapses KGL.
So I'm just telling you, say the Director General no one take contract and I want 10 year manase. Okay, that answer he gave, he wouldn't have given it because wouldn't be say you bet me a review that contract until end of year 2026. Nobody can take the contract for a review.
Kwame Bao, on say unkomana udini na no. Wa mayati asia say other in Yama be a home message KGF for ya omon ye and no capono and Casanco so na determinate contract me wa. And the based on that no on us what you me a call pack and him I say we bet me I negotiation or bet to me afraid at the end back because ABCD will hold my more KGF for more year and the based on that and pono may call him back na yen show contract in him
and that Michelle say contract is a contract.
Yes, of course.
What sign we are and yet at your back and call one hour bed your uphill. What the contract terms air can and no one yes I see a shesso. Maybe to bossy. Question now will be saying a bit more moonway. Contract ni say ye ABCD. One ye ABCD and your grounds for termination.
Good and ABCD no yeah.
Good. So what I want you to understand is that first of all there are breaches in the contract by now as I say NLA any KGL contract as I say you terminate. Good. You terminate. What's one person who call it for renegotiation? Renegotiation, I'm telling you, say the Director General cannot today call the KGL and the executive directors to say mumra for review because the period for review no and so yet
that
and it is a clause it is a clause in that same contract. So a person will touch a contract in that okay, it is either say will be trained the first 3 years operationalizing the contract to elapse and now say the best you can do is to terminate again review now what person will who review on which basis? Basis our person the review ni say what's the statement of Becky or say the country can get more. He feels the country can get more. Good. Now if the country can get more and you are going back to renegotiate this contract on the negotiation table at the end what they call as your basis to ask for more from KGL.
Oh, sir, and come on, I would know. Line now, Ohana Menamo, Ohana, I like the Ohana Menam. Now, me patch and say, I said KGL for ye ABCDB. I want more contract in him, me boy. Sa ABCD no. Omo nye. And to the based on that, no, obey to me a call for review of the contract. It doesn't matter, say, me no agreement. Now, after every 3 years, I to me after say, I want to review the contract. And now within the contract, no, so I say, also, ye ABCD, I just say, Sadia and 1 year, I say, me to me cancel contract. Sadia and so on, yeah. And so it gives me enough opportunity to be able to call off the contract. That is exactly what I'm trying to say. Baby, I'm no.
Where we are there, no. Yes. It is easy to say what you are saying. Okay? So say, oh, person, oh, yeah, renegotiation. Renegotiation, no anything. You want to review the figures, KGL, Etria, Edema, NLA. Right? That is the bottom line. Okay? In this whole agreement, the bottom line is that at the end of every fiscal year, KGL is supposed to pay a certain amount of money to the NLA. Okay? And you know, what person will review in the context of the Director General, no air canoa. What it means is that you will require say KGL to more money to the NLA.
Yes.
Okay.
More money.
Good. On which basis will you ask for more? Basis I would be called for that negotiation, no anything.
And anything I'm moving forward, you know.
Moving forward, I'm asking until I make sure say Director General no contract net that one. Say otiasie ye no take losses na see year. Okay, this argument wouldn't come because you know why? The point is that basis I would be gina so akase na kwame adwuma ya wo ye wo ma me 50 cedis, but henceforth I'm asking say wo betua me 200 cedis. Okay, it's for me to able to know what comes into your systems. Some systems, you know, I mean, what happens on your system, no, many access. I'm unable to determine how many people are flowing in and out of your system to stake on daily basis, on weekly basis, on monthly basis. In other sense, because I'm many access to it, you know, I'm equally unable to pay the sort of revenue I would generate from the inflows are ever on daily, on weekly, and on monthly basis. And it's a mebao. Na me catch that will say, Mami 200 cedis instead of 50 cedis. What is the basis for asking for that? Data not any available to me.
Kwame.
Okay? And see, it is more or less like, I mean, okay, met me to ya say, me per se, met me to ya say, but not on the fact to say there is a real scientific data. Ye Jinaso as a basis to be able to negotiate for what we are negotiating. At the end of the day, if I'm able to determine, say, okay, on daily basis, we make it 500 cedis. Okay? For 200 cedis, mommy. For 200 cedis, 3 will expenses. Make a profit of 100 Ghana cedis. Then we are having a proper and a better negotiation. Okay? What the NLA is doing now, because they do not have access to any data, all that they will do is that, okay, if you are paying me 176 million, and at the end of the year, you have me 200 million.
Kwame.
Okay, so clearly, no, what is happening in the system, no, is for the NLA themselves, okay, and the presidency to sit down and say, baby, I near my way, but in any case, and rather me bizarre say, why do we want to monopolize online lottery to one company? Why? Why do we want to monopolize? Whereas over point of sale terminals, there were a lot of industry players. When we hear local marketing, how do you call it? Local marketing companies, they are playing within that same sector. You have Asari Original Paywall, you have Alpha Lotteries, you have Blue Star Lotteries, you have high-tech technologies. Industry players.
Kwame.
When it comes to online, why do you want to monopolize it?
I mean, Mr. Seban said now KGL will not allow NCA into the database, the system. They now national lotteries are able to monitor the inflow of money. Sika eba na they are able to monitor omunim income eba and income na eba based on income na eba no they will be able to say okay Cesar we now have access to your data, we now have access to your system until amount we eba bia na yenim amount we eba bia na yehu would that want to and so a bit me cause say still no omucha contract him Because now the issue here is
that will be seen as an obligation that ought to have been performed. Again,
I saw more no man yet.
It ought to have been performed.
And as you see, and I said, but some
deliberate to was it? Deliberate. The contract did not just start today. The first agreement between them started in 2019. 2019, a year and a half after, you review it. A contract that was supposed to last for 2 years for piloting. 2 years in the crown, so you review it. And let us not go into that angle.
I ask no that
a chance for amendment too. It is an obligation that the person ought to have been performing.
And a 1 year.
You think say a contract is by your whims and caprices? It is not by your whims and caprices. Nipan was on your ABCD. The person has failed to honor his promise. His part of the contract.
And I say contract
it ought to be cancelled. You know why I yentimin tremu? Because individuals are benefiting from that contract at the expense of the state corporation.
But baby, I'm even say, since you're not a stand and say, KGL now we are giving you access to the data. You monitor the inflow of every money be able to be ana. Kwame, say still a contract yentum, and now say yema.
A breach of a contract is a breach.
Okay.
Okay. A breach of contract is a breach. Yama contract from 2019 till now. How many years? Are you saying you see a bit backdated? Sikabia NLA no ought to have gained. You short change NLA no. You better go back. Okay? Near tuya the SSN and NLA in your bian, you tuya the ama womwana. These are reasonable questions that we need to ask. You see, we are taking the things on the silver platter thinking, say, I mean, obia to me at your pay in this country.
That is the reason we are asking these questions.
Say, I am buying an 40 as part of his contract obligation. By now, can buy in international tribunal. Okay? The same company would have been fighting for a judgment debt. Okay? So let us be serious in this country. Already, one man exclusivity to online lottery platform. One kasa created the man who are your principal to this particular agreement. You do not have access to.
Kwame, would you say
everything that has happened under this contract is a mere fiasco? There is nothing like that.
Kwame.
Okay, the NLA is being shortchanged, and it's as simple as that. This contract, it ought not to exist in the first place.
Would you say except
after breaches are one more committee, this contract ought not to exist, even up until today.
Would you say except President Mahama or issue order no more trim as soon as possible? Good.
Termination of this contract. And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you. And me boss campaigns were sponsored in this country in last year's election. The entire contract it is because certain campaigns, certain presidential candidates were sponsored under this same agreement.
And the young say omo
it is not for you to say young person betray
now
it is for us to talk about how bad the thing is.
The thing is bad.
How it is short-changing the NLA.
Kwame, the thing is bad.
And then making it look as if say obiti baby no ye bibi adema NLA, which is not the case.
Kwame, the thing is bad. President Mahama Emma just one instruction say cancel SML deal anamwa. Just one instruction anamwa. So we are calling on the president on this one too. We are calling on the president. So, but this was a bad deal. Simple.
I'm only calling on the British High Commission. In Ghana. The people behind KGL. Most of them are British citizens. The American. Okay? Most of the people behind KGL are British citizens. I don't care whether you have a dual citizenship. The point is that dual citizenship still Ghanaian citizens, citizenship, you do not have that trust and believe in it. Yet you still hold citizenship and allegiance to the Britain as a whole nation. Now the commission must call their citizens to order. Okay? Because it is ripping off this country and making sure that certain individuals are rather enriching themselves at the expense of the national corporation or the state corporation. A simplicity. This deal ought to be cancelled. And then the first one, Bakope and Yedi Hunkomo Abesiene. So everybody talking about this would rather prefer so be talking about renegotiation. You have no basis to go for a renegotiation. You have no basis. There are no basis whatsoever to call for a renegotiation of this deal. A dealer and yet a bon a kankan. Okay? You monopolize the system for one individual for a period of 20 years.
Kwame.
And you think, sir, and only a fair for the state corporation.
Kwame,
20 years, no more now, must sign it, and whatever.
Kwame, be a public account committee, no document be a say almost like I be a Munsan Canadian, and I want to go to me the Hakoye and add on to it for them. Kwame. I don't want. Now, no document I was here. Young from Kona, young presenting mom.
Tell me the copies are more.
And I'm Miss Yefan couldn't come on.